Hi guys, it's Christina with Pildora, and welcome back to our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to do it. Today we're going to talk about sustainable fashion and what it means. It can oftentimes be really confusing, and as Pildora is a company that connects conscious consumers with sustainable brands and sustainable fashion, it's something that I often get asked. What is sustainable fashion? And I've had to answer this question over and over again, but I want to make it simple for you guys. So before I get into what sustainable fashion means, I want to remind you why sustainable fashion is really important. The fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries in the world. And a statistic I learned just this week is that the footwear and apparel industry combined account for more than all international flights and maritime shipping. So the point is, the fashion industry is very toxic, and there's definitely a need for sustainability in that area. Which leads us to sustainable fashion. It is fashion that is fully transparent in all aspects of its supply chain. The fashion companies, brands, and designers that address sustainability usually focus on a plethora of topics, but we've broken them down into 3 to make it a little simpler for you. And these are the 3 E's: ethical, environmental, and economic. When looking at the ethical aspects of fashion, you look at fair wages, fair pay, equality for all, animal treatment, things like cruelty-free. This is where Fairtrade certification would come into play. This basically means that the workers producing your clothes are being paid a fair wage and that they're working in a safe environment and not in poor conditions, like in the case of Rana Plaza where the whole building collapsed. This can involve the health and well-being of workers, and then this can also involve animal welfare. And so making sure that products are cruelty-free, or perhaps making sure that the treatment of animals is conscious so that there's no cruel treatment of the animals in any part of the production. One of our next features at Pildora is a designer, Nine, and she has personally gone to all of the factories in India that she works with, and she knows that they are all small factories, family owned, only about 10 to 15 people in the factories. And she knows that all the people involved in working in these factories are being paid fair wages, fair living wages, great conditions, and that there is no child labor involved. So number 2 is economic. And the main things under economic are that they are producing locally perhaps, and they are spurring economic growth locally in their countries or in their city perhaps. They might be tied to a charitable cause as well. Some brands or designers give part of their profits to a local charity or a charity that they are very passionate about. One great example of this is a brand called Change that's here in New York. It's one of my favorite brands. They have really amazing t-shirts. And they just came out with one t-shirt where they give 10% of all of their profits of that t-shirt to a local women's charity. So number 3, environmental. And for sustainability, this is kind of one of the most important. How much the environment is being impacted by the production of these garments. Are they not polluting water with their chemical dyeing process? Looking out for companies that have tried to minimize their impact through packaging is how to tell a company that is really striving to accomplish a sustainable mission and ethos throughout all of their supply chain. What materials are being used? Are they using synthetics? Because that would not be a sustainable practice. Are they upcycling materials? So upcycling is the reusing of previously used materials. So sometimes designers will take previously used fishing nets, for example, and rework them into a new fabric. Definitely under environmental, there are more aspects to look at. So under this category lies a lot of certifications. One, for example, is are they organic certified? So some designers are using just organic cotton or other sorts of materials. Are they using silk? And if so, what is the process behind that silk making process? A lot of more naturally produced things are considered sustainable versus things that are taking pesticides and chemicals to produce. So recently at Pildora, we featured Carencia Studio, a brand that uses all organic cotton and features really amazing messages on their t-shirts. So to sum this all up for you today, what is sustainable fashion? It's fashion that is fully transparent through their supply chain and addresses issues on their economic, environmental, and ethical impacts. But to fully understand it, you kind of have to check out each piece of fabric and do a little more digging on each designer, because these days there's a lot of greenwashing going on, and it seems like almost every designer is starting to claim that they're a little bit sustainable just to make a little more sales. I think in order to tell if they're truly sustainable, you actually have to look at the clothes, you have to look at the packaging, and you have to do more research. I'll show you some examples from my clothes. Here I have a shirt from a brand that I used to buy a lot. One of the first things I do when I am looking at clothes in a store, I look at the tag. Tag is really important. You always want to look at where is it made? Made in China. That's kind of vague and also usually not the best sign if it's made in China. You kind of have to dig a little more. And then you look at what it's made out of. 30% wool, 30% acrylic, 25% polyamide, and 15% polyester. So basically this shirt is made out of a lot of synthetics mixed in with other fabrics. So This shirt is not sustainable, and it's not from a sustainable brand, is what I would conclude pretty quickly, because polyester is a lot of plastic usually involved in acrylic as well, and it's a synthetic fabric, and so it's not natural, and it's not made locally, even though the brand is actually local to the US. So I know that they have outsourced, and I would double check to look on the site to see what other information is provided, but I know personally that I have checked on the site and there's not very much information provided on factories, on the supply chain, and so I know that this brand is not striving to be a sustainable brand, and that's just not in their ethos. Let's take a look at another shirt. So here is a t-shirt. You got the tag New York Affair, actually one of my favorite brands. Designed in Brooklyn, ethically made in India. 100% cotton and Fairtrade certified. So this shirt actually checks a lot of boxes. This is a pretty sustainable shirt. The brand is being very transparent, and you don't actually have to go look on the website. It's pretty much laid everything out for you here. They also have a certification of Fairtrade, which means that they check the ethical box, they check the environmental box, and they check the economic box actually, because they're being produced locally, paying fair wages to their workers, and they are 100% cotton, so they are creating minimal environmental impact. And it's got a cool little message, so I like these shirts. You can tie them in every which way and make a cool outfit out of it. So thank you so much for talking about sustainable fashion with me today. I hope you've gained a little bit of clarity, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I've had so much fun with you chatting about sustainable fashion, one of my favorite topics and passions. We at Pildora love talking about sustainable fashion, so thanks for checking us out, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one.